One of the greatest human survival stories of all time began on Friday, October 13th, 1972, when a charter plane carrying a rugby team from the South American country of Uruguay vanished over the remote, snow-covered Andes Mountains. For 72 days, the world thought they were dead. But what 16 survivors endured was worse than death.
It was a story of survival. It was a fantastic physical effort to get out of there and to fight every single day against the cold, the hunger, the fear, everything. So I feel it's a great story of survival.
Nando Parrado was only 21 when he caught the plane, which was taking his team to play a rematch in Chile. Parrado was one of Uruguay's top rugby players, and his mother and sister went with him for the journey. The pilot had radioed that he was over Chile. It was a fatal navigational error. Believing he had already crossed the range, he descended into the clouds and emerged in the middle of the mountains.
I could hear the engines pitching up in revs, trying to get some power of those engines, and the front part of the plane lifting up a little bit, and then the moment of impact.
The plane had come down into the most extensive mountain range in the world. Rescue teams from 3 countries searched, but the roof of the plane was white, and the mountains were covered with the heaviest snowfalls in 50 years. After 10 days, the search was abandoned. They had crashed at over 11,000 feet. At night, temperatures dropped to 30 degrees below zero. They couldn't survive on just a few bars of chocolate. Nor could they have imagined the nightmare they would face 2.5 weeks into their ordeal.
One of the most important things that I remember also, and that they were very hard, was the avalanche that came into the plane about 2.5 weeks after we crashed. We were already settled inside the plane one night. We had already gone into sleep, and we were sleeping in the positions I just described, like this. About 2 hours after we had gone into the plane and some of the guys were already sleeping, a very big avalanche came through the wall, through this plug of suitcases, and it covered the fuselage completely up to this height. So you can imagine our heads were like here and there, and we were completely covered with snow and we couldn't move.
Savannah! Shine the light over here!
They started looking for the heads and the mouths of the guys who were sleeping, not for the bodies.
3 of them tried to reach the broken tail of the plane, which had landed in a valley to the east. They nearly died in the attempt. While they waited for warmer weather, Nando selected 2 expeditionaries to accompany him in a daring attempt to escape the Andes. The boys knew they would have to organize themselves properly to climb out. They also knew that once they began, there was no turning back.
I think that we were average young people from Uruguay. We could have been average young people from any place in the world. And through our work, through our friendship, we survived one of the most hostile things in the world: cold, hunger, thirst. And I have learned that if I have conquered that ordeal, I can conquer every day, one by one, with no problem at all, and really choose which are the important things for me personally. I can choose them very easily and be happy with myself and my life. they see me as a hero. They call me a hero. But I deeply inside, and I know it, I'm not a hero. I didn't want to be on that crash. I didn't want to spend 72 of the most terrible days of my life in that place. I didn't want to feel the way I felt. I didn't want to lose my mother. I didn't want to lose my sister. I didn't want to lose my friends. I didn't want to be a hero. I didn't know a book was going to be written. I didn't know a movie was going to be made. I just wanted to get out of there. If that's being a hero, I can be called a hero. I don't want to be called a hero. I just wanted to get out of there.